All right, so the SPY just broke lifetime highs just now. Sorry, I'm a little bit late starting the stream. The SPY just broke lifetime highs. It's still pumping up. Let me put all this stuff up here. Here's the Q. So the Q is nowhere near lifetime highs, but the SPY just broke lifetime highs. 570s. Previous yesterday before the FOMC meeting was 565s, I think. I know I'm here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm up. Didn't get enough sleep. Gold up to 2612, so I don't think gold's breaking lifetime highs. Alright. I'm gonna do a poll, like we always do. Yeah. Jobless claims are expected today at 8:30. We also have durable good orders dropping at the same time. Yeah, so jobless claims expected at 229,000 today. Durable good orders coming out. Alright, so yeah, durable good orders expected. Or no, I'm sorry, not durable goods. Philly Fed indexes today. That's actually pretty big one. Minus 1.1. Let me put this up. The disclaimer. Yeah, I need to drink my coffee. It needs to cool down so I can drink it first. We'll put a timer up. Why do you keep saying roll? Oh, never mind. Yeah, I got you. Here's the timer. It's in about 51 minutes. No. You can tell I'm tired. I got the time wrong. There we go. Yeah. So we got 50 minutes left until the timer goes. What's up, Daphne, Carlos, Digital, Garav, Capital, me, Bot, Burge, Jeffrey, Sam, Thomas, Beach Bum. What's up, man? Radical, Men. Ed, Faye, Captain, Poker, Frost, Pond, MV, MVK, Margin, L. Anybody else? Freddie, Biggie, Keegan, Julio. What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. All right, I'm up, man. I'm not really Jose. What's up, dude? Siri. Bernardo, May. All right, yeah, like I said, I'm up. Oh, again, SPY broke highs today. Basically, S&P 500 broke highs. SPY at 571s now. I feel a lot of fun small caps. Hey, good luck, dude. Small caps are a risky thing. The FOMC meeting yesterday, Fed pivoted to a 50 basis point cut, meaning they're going to bring short-term interest rates down a full 0.5%. Now their plan, again, I went over their plan yesterday. Their plan is to do 50, 25, 25. Sorry, this 5 is looking a little rough. 25 or 50, 25, 25. And so they're going to ease into it a little bit, but they're also jumping right out at 50. So depending on which your definition of ease is, yeah. I don't get this pump at all-time highs. Well, the pump is from historically every time we cut rates, not every time, but most of the time when we cut rates, the market actually has a positive reaction. It's pretty predictable. If you look it up, that's what happens usually when we cut rates. Job reports at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. There's a big old timer in the top left. Again, I'm going to throw it in sub-only mode, so hit the subscribe button if you have not already, guys. We appreciate it. Oh yeah, let me do a poll here. And the poll is just going to be, we're going to keep it simple. The poll is just going to say, does today's jobless claims, unemployment filings, come in higher or lower than the 229K expected? Higher, lower. I don't know. / see results. Hey, sir, just want to ask your opinion about the jobless claims would be higher than 230. Thanks a lot. I really don't know. Jobless claims is unpredictable. It's a weekly report. It can come in much bigger ranges over and under the expected, so I really don't know. Any reason not to YOLO into the S&P 500 at open? Well, we're at lifetime highs for the S&P 500, and so just the overarching question you got to ask yourself is, do you like buying up stuff when they've been breaking highs for months now? I don't necessarily like that, but do what you got to do, you know. Yeah, well, that's the long-term outcome of it, Daniel. I'm talking to people are asking me why the markets are shooting up, and the pretty consistent reaction from stocks is we do a 50 basis point cut, markets generally going up short term. You know, economy and market are two different animals, though. You know, like the last 2 years, we've pivoted to a quantitative tightening stance. We've pivoted to a high interest rate environment stance after 2020, and simultaneously, the market's been breaking highs pretty regularly for the last year straight. So sometimes they're not always in that regard correlated, meaning like just because you might think the economy's weak, or, you know, the Fed pivots to QT and high interest rates to discourage the economy, to push the economy down. So basically, everybody already knew the economy was going to start showing weaker economic data years ago when this started. Now there's a lag to it, but we're starting to see it now, and now people are acting like it's the end of the world, it's a recession, whenever really the Fed was intentionally doing this. The Fed was pushing the economy down. That's what QT is. That's what high interest rate environments are designed to do, is push the economy down, stop spending, so that inflation goes down if inflation's a problem. And so it's kind of like, this is kind of what it's designed to do, but it's an election year, so what is everybody saying? Oh, it's the end of the world scenario, guys. And the real reason, again, I say this every day, but the real reason people are unhappy is inflation mostly, Well, I don't necessarily believe that. Capital, I don't trust. I mean, look, Powell seems like a great dude and everything. I don't trust any of them, They all have their own. But at the same time, like, Powell doesn't want to crash under his watch. He's going to want to be balanced, and he generally is balanced. It's a hard job. I can't really judge. Powell understands finance for sure. Well, gas is cheap. Yeah, I mean. Inflation went down. What slowed down? I mean, we could argue semantics, but you guys know what I mean when I say it went down. It slowed down. It's not going to actually go down unless we hit like a depression or something. It's the only way it'll go down. Outside of that, Hey, nice K. Congrats, dude. That's a good trade. I ended up losing money yesterday. I'm kind of disappointed about it. Yesterday was my first losing day in a minute. And I wanted to make money yesterday too, but honestly, I guess in hindsight, I'm just glad that I didn't lose more. So we lost $135 yesterday, unfortunately, in our stock account. Boo. But it could have been worse. I tried to trade up a little bit larger. What really happened is I tried to trade larger. The mistake I found myself in, I got bored during the FOMC meeting, and so I started to kind of trade micro contracts right after the FOMC. Like, I think it was in the middle of the conference, and the range had picked up like tenfold, and so that's what got me. My fault completely. Still, I think somewhat green on the week. Maybe, or no, I'm down $25 on the week now, which is fine. What would be the effect of increased jobless claims? That means more people filing for unemployment. So, yeah. Is it engineered stagflation? I don't know. Maybe. I can see Nvidia going up big again too. Yeah, there's a Nvidia. Nvidia's up there. It's going. It's up to 117.14s. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, chat. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. We're up pretty big. All right, chat. Better than losing 1350, I guess so. Caught the Netflix put. Powell's plan is pump market so he avoids. Well, it depends on. I mean, I don't know. He's not going to do quantitative easing, and I think that would be a horrible thing if he did. I don't know. Yeah, you see people that are just super hyper emotional too about the decision. Like I think you got a lot of people that were betting on. I told people what was going to happen. Like I made a video about all this stuff, like the day before yesterday. And in that video, we told people, we said, hey, look, 50 basis points is pretty expected now. We're going to cut 50 basis points. Who knows? Historically, the market goes up, but who knows what's going to happen here? And yet, again, like I always say, for whatever reason, ahead of these big economic reports, people always go with some type of wildly unexpected thing, like no cut, like a pause, or like a 75 basis point cut. And it's just kind of like, where are they getting this stuff from? Like, I don't understand it. Like people like, when you look at confirmation bias, it's such a powerful thing. I talk about it every day, but it really is. Like people are so blinded by what they want to happen, or what, and for whatever reason, you also get a certain amount of people. Usually it's the people who are really, really political, right? Like really, really political, who they want a market crash, or they want a market correction, or they want a deep recession or depression. And like, I just can't get behind that. Like, I don't care about any politician, anything like that. And I am really neutral, but I just don't want any of that stuff to happen. And so whenever we have data that signals that we might be avoiding that type of stuff, I celebrate. I don't get upset just so I can be right. But, again, it's a really ego-driven thing a lot of the time in markets, and you just see it from a lot of different people. I told him we were gonna cut, man. Like, what happened to the dude that bet lots of money on the cut? No, we didn't. Capital, come on, bro. Not even a good comment, dude. I'm gonna delete that comment. Yeah, we had a dude that said he bet on another pause, and I think the whole stream kind of chastised him a little bit. This was like weeks ago, and this was weeks ago. And weeks ago, we knew we weren't gonna pause. We were gonna cut, and we chastised him a little bit and told him it was dumb. And he said, we'll see. And we saw. Are the cuts bullish or bearish? Well, they're cutting interest rates, so that stimulates the economy to a certain extent. But you just got to ask yourself, do you think that's good or bad? And it's all good. If he wants to show up here and talk to us about it, I'll listen, The real question I think he has to ask himself is, what drives him to make ridiculous gambles on the market? What drives that behavior? You know what I mean? Like, what drives that behavior? Like, it's something that he should understand the probabilities in. So what drives that? I don't know. I don't know. No, get your mind out the gutter, sass. This is a song. But I'll change it. Oh yeah, what do we have this morning? Yeah, so we got the Bank of England rate decision, not the Bank of Japan. This is the Bank of England rate decision today. We got the Philly Fed Index, jobless claims, existing home sales. Some people like to fantasize about winning the lottery or $1 million trade. Yeah, 100%, but I think this is something different. I think this is just gamble. I think he likes to risk money, and I think risking money in that regard's dumb. You know, the only way to, like, you could risk 20K if you got 10, 20 million, you know. But for some reason, I just find that to be a low probability thing, you know. I don't have 10, 20 million, you know what I mean? So I can't judge. But with that said, I'm not betting 20K on a freaking, you know, 0.001% chance outcome. Just seems unnecessary, you know. That wasn't even an option, you know. Like, that would be like me putting 20K on Al Gore winning the presidential election, right? Like, it's not even an option, you know. But hey, whatever floats his boat, man. I'm happy for him. Or I feel for him if he lost that money, actually. I mean, how much do you have? I got about 600 pesos. Dollar index at 100.6, guys. 100.6. We'll see if that continues down. It's been down for the last week straight. I don't think the Bank of Japan... Oh, they are making their interest rate decision today. What time is this? This is at 2300. Is this at... This will be at 11 o'clock tonight? Eastern time. Yeah, it's 11 p.m., dude. I would cover it. The Bank of Japan rate decision is at 10:30 tonight. Their policy statement, the rate decision. It's a big decision, right? The yen carry influence over markets is interesting, and that is today. But it's at 11. It's at 11 o'clock tonight, Eastern. So even with me, that's 10 o'clock my time. That's still pretty late to stream. You know, we could watch futures in that period of time as well, but he had a chance of winning. Yeah. Yeah, I wish it was mountain time. So, question for my contractors here, guys. So we bought a house at we got the inspection done, and in the inspection they're saying the only thing major that's wrong is that the dryer is venting into the attic instead of outside. How expensive is that fix? You know, I haven't gotten the report back yet. It's probably something that I'm gonna just deal with, but how expensive is it? Bank of America now expects Fed to go for a 75 percentage point cut. Oh yeah, let me check that. I haven't even really looked at this. So 49 days from now, we do the next rate decision. Where are we now? Man, I can't remember. We were at 475 to 5, right? Or no? We are at... Yeah, we're at 475 to 5. So this is a 50 basis point cut. If we go to 450 to 475, that'll be a 25 basis point cut. So again, still overwhelming likelihood, 65% as of now, and this is subject to change, is for a 25 basis point cut. Again, what they said their plan was again, they said 50 yesterday, 25 next meeting, 25 the meeting after in December, right? So we're going to do 50, 25, 25. Okay, good. Yeah, it's a pretty new place. It was built it was built less than 30 years ago, less than 20 years ago, I think. But yeah, right now 25% chance, or 65% chance of a 25 basis point cut. in November. It's going to be first week of November. All right, so looking at our poll numbers here, we got 52% think they're going to come in higher. Higher would mean more people filing for unemployment. We got 33% saying lower and 15% saying I don't know. Yeah, appreciate the help. Feels like they start with 25 being the likely outcome. Then as we get closer, all of them start pushing for 50, and now I'm mentioning 75. Well, yeah, well, what happened was that a group of senators, it was either senators or congressmen, sent the Fed a letter saying they wanted 75 basis points, I think. And a lot of people speculated that it was strategy where if they pushed for 75, we would at least do 50. And that may have tipped the scales in 50 basis points in that regard. So that's what's being speculated to have happened. Pawn saying the New Zealand GDP is what kicked off this run today, or potentially what kicked off this run, followed by what looks like a short squeeze on the SPY from some Intel or Fintel reports. Maybe. It says Meta Platforms won the dismissal of a lawsuit claiming it defrauded shareholders by concealing Apple's Apple.o privacy settings would make Facebook and Instagram less desirable for advertisers. A decision Tuesday, District Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers also rejected those same claims, and that Meta concealed former CEO or COO Sheryl Sandberg's use of company resources on personal stuff, including her wedding, and she also potentially used it for her best-selling book, Lean In. But yeah, anyways, point is, the overarching point is Meta won the dismissal of the lawsuit, so that's good. Yeah. So Pawn's telling me it might be $800 to $1,500. And even if that's the case, I'm not in any rush to put tenants in there. I'm really not. That's what I told Carol. You don't think it has to do with people moving money market to stocks due to rate cut? I think it probably. Historically, when we cut rates like this, the market goes up. All right. I'm wondering if the seasonality will hold up to be true and we'll finally see a pullback. Historically, after a 50 basis point is followed by a recession, 50% of the time, it's a fairly rare move by the Fed to cut that big out of the gate. Yeah, again, I was against it. I thought 25 was the move. All right, nice. How much do you make a month? Bro, people keep asking me this, dude. They keep asking me this. They keep asking me how much I make. It's not like I even brag a lot about it, you know. Top 3, you know. highest monthly earners in the world right now. No, just joking, kind of. I'm definitely just joking. People keep asking me that, Like, my guess is people are asking me that, and I'm not saying this is you. Maybe I'm just paranoid on YouTube, right? I feel like somebody's going to ask me that and then create another account. And so then when I start talking about it, they're going to create another account and be like, oh, this dude's bragging too much, bro. Boo this man. Like, we do well. We, like I've said it before, like, we make 6 figures doing this, Like, it's over 200 is what I'll give you. That's about all I'll give you. Enough to party. Yeah. Depends on what kind of party. And when I say 200, I meant $200, not 200K. Or did I? Of course it's not from, it's from trading marketing. They probably just want to know because they want to be like you. Yeah, I think that's what happens to most of the haters. David. Yeah, that's my favorite comment. I heard, yeah. Enough for my kids to spend it. It's odd. I always thought that's not a question you ask someone. I realize you're a finance guy on YouTube, but it's still not something we have a right to ask you. You could ask. It doesn't mean I'm going to answer it. Yeah, and again, I feel like if I ever did tell people, like, specifics, I would get hate from it, Human nature, you know what I mean? I think, I've worked with people before. You'd be surprised at how much a channel like this makes, but you also have to understand, like, look, yesterday we got about, like, yesterday as a whole, we probably got, like, 33,000 views total for yesterday. And again, so for the week, for the month, my channel probably got like 270,000, give or take. I'll have to go back and check what the stats are. Like 270,000 people watched it for the last 30 days, right? Sometimes more, to be honest. Sometimes it'll get up to like 400K. Sometimes it'll dwindle down to like 220. It just depends on what's going on. It depends on what big moments are going on in the market for a channel like this. But, so anytime you get that amount of views, right, you're going to be able to monetize it. Like, I'm from Baton Rouge. The population of Baton Rouge is 221,000. We had more people than that watch my stream last month, which is not even a big number relative to other YouTubers, like in the entertainment niche or whatever. And so I'm proud of my channel. I'm happy for it, and it makes money, sure. But it provides a service, too. Like, it provides value. People know they can tune in and figure out what's going on in the economy and the market. If we got big news, big events happening, they know we're on it. And so that's a reliable thing. People don't need to search around. They can just check it out. Yeah. SPY at 570s. So SPY is just still right around lifetime high. It's kind of flattening out though. Chop today or gap up? I have no idea what's gonna happen today. Hey, thank you, Leia. Yeah, no, I have no idea what's gonna happen today. I really don't. I didn't even know Cracker Barrel had a public stock. Goldman Sachs launches a proposed offering of depository shares. They plan to redeem Series P preferred stock with proceeds. I'm trying to see. Yeah, so Goldman Sachs expects the Fed to do 25 basis point cut at each meeting from November through June versus previous forecast of quarterly cuts in 2025. So again, here's an update. I'm telling people, so Goldman thinks they're going to do 25 basis point cuts now, consistent 25 basis point cuts until November or until June of next year, basically until summer. So we'll see. Bank of Canada Deputy Governor Vincent says that even the Bank of Canada takes rate decisions on a consensus basis, and it does not mean they all share the same view. Yeah, so yesterday, the only person that didn't vote for 50, basically all the Fed, all 12 of the Fed members voted on the rate decision yesterday. 11 of them picked 50. Michelle Bowman. And again, shout out to Michelle Bowman. I think that was the right move. I think 25 is right, correct. So I think that's correct. She was the only one that voted for 25. And so, of course, we did 50 because it's, majority wins. But, I agree with her. I think it should have been 25. Is there any specific news outlet you keep up with? Yeah, I watch a bunch of different ones, to be honest. All right, guys, we got almost 20 minutes left. Tomorrow's triple witching day, yes. So tomorrow is Trip Witch. So this place sent me a pre-approval email for auto financing. And I'm not really one to finance a new car, right? The only way I would do it is if they had something really cool. And I'm looking. They got some Challengers. I don't really. They got a Maserati Ghibli. Maseratis, like people act like Maseratis are like, ooh. And I get it. They're Maseratis. But, honestly, they're really not that nice of cars. Like, they sound really good, but they're super unreliable. They break down all the time. They sound great, break down a lot. That's the problem. So they got a Mustang GT. That thing's pretty cool. And the only way I would ever finance it is to, they got a Lancer Evo, 4-cylinder turbo. The only way I'd ever finance a car is to build my credit. Like if I can build my credit, cool. And it'll help build because I've never historically gotten a bunch of loans. Like I'm not a big mortgage guy. I'm not a big, ooh, they got a Tesla 21 Model 3. U.S. Steel issues Q3 guidance. Adjusted EPS at 44 to 48 cents a share. Expected 38 cents. EBITDA seen at 300 million. A lot of people use EBITDA, and EBITDA is okay, but it's not the most accurate look at everything. EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It's not the most accurate look. It really isn't. I don't know. They got a 2021 Model 3 for about $28K. How fast are Model 3s? quarter mile wise. My metric is quarter mile. 0 to 60 is cool too. Yeah, but it's just a regular Model 3. Ah. Boo. 14 seconds is just not that fast. It's a standard range. So boo. I don't really want that. Anyways, guys. NVIDIA up there 117s. Some of these fastback GTs are cool though. Imagine getting an electric, eco-friendly Mustang. Ooh, they do have a WRX. It's not an STI. 6-speed. Alright, so again, we got 12 minutes left. You know, the problem is, like, I used to really like WRX STIs, you know. The real problem, though, is that, like, they do 14 seconds, 13 seconds, quarter mile, which is very fast for a stock car, right? In the age of EVs, it's not as cool as it used to be. I used to love WRXs. I was kind of like, I really, really wanted one because they have such fast stock vehicles, right? Subis are cool, and they were fast out the gate, you know. The problem now is that, again, the Model 3 Tesla, I just looked at, the standard Model 3 Tesla is faster than a WRX STI. And it looks like a grandma car. And that difference is big, right? There's a lot of differences now. EVs are making it so that it's just not as cool as it used to be. It's a really hard buy. You know, I used to want to buy one. And I guess it's a track car. It's a racing car. And so it's not necessarily purely meant for quarter mile time. But that's what I always raced, was quarter mile growing up. Now, jobs data comes out in 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, so one of the things that I do see here that I'm pretty proud of my channel for is my channel kind of changed the standard, dude. Everybody's covering the FOMC meeting now. Like, freaking everybody. It's interesting, man. Like, again, like a year ago, nobody was really covering it. Nobody was covering earnings either. Like a year ago, nobody was covering earnings. Nobody was covering FOMC meetings. And now everybody's doing it. And I'd like to think I contributed to that. They're copying off of me to a certain extent, which is fine, you know. I think people need to learn economics sometimes before they learn, like, penny stocks or before they learn, you know, other stuff. Yeah, I was always a JDM guy, district. I had a Honda Prelude growing up, H22 1990s. Really fun car. My bias today is they'll keep the market up until midday. Maybe. Yeah, again, triple witching day tomorrow is interesting. Triple witching is a day in which 3 major contract types expire. Okay, so, and you all should, it might seem really jargony and confusing. You guys know what I mean here. So what contract types are there in trading? There's options, right? Option contracts, obviously. And so triple witching refers to the day in which all these contract types all expire one day, the same day. It's a day of volatility a lot of the time. Sometimes it's not. But the option types are single stock options, like Apple options, like Tesla options, like Microsoft options, right? Single stock options. Index options. So the S&P 500 options, the NASDAQ 100 options, like the big index options, the Dow options, right? Those all expire same day. So far we got single stock options, index options, and then we have index futures. right? What do we mean by index futures? We mean like the S&P 500 futures contracts, like I trade the E-mini, the NASDAQ. You know, the rollover happens this week. So all of that stuff's happening tomorrow, and that is a day in which we could get movement, we could get action. SoFi back up to almost 9s. Yeah, the Model 3 performance does like 11 seconds, which is very, very fast. All right, guys, we got about 10 minutes left. Yeah, I mean, my hesitancy here, like, I have enough cars. We already have 3. You know, I don't really need another one. I'm just curious because this company sent me an email. But like, yeah. All right. All right, guys. Sorry, I was telling my family good morning and seeing them. No. So we got 4 minutes left. About 3.5 minutes. This video is a little bit late, but it's all right. Yeah, sorry, I muted myself. My we got stuff going on my end, so I was just talking to my family. The dog making his appearance in 4 minutes. Yeah, maybe. All right, guys, 3 minutes. We got 1,200 people here live. Again, we are in sub-only mode, so everybody subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. In the past, when we cut 2 points, the stock always spikes up but drop down right after the cycle. What do you think about this time? I'm not sure. I don't really know what we're going to get. We got 2.5 minutes left, though, guys. 2.5 minutes. Again, the expectation today is 229,000, I'm pretty sure. We also have, again, what's called the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index coming out today. 230K is what's expected. So, again, I'll put it up. You can see it at the bottom of the screen. Jobless claims expected at 230K. Philly Fed expected at minus 0.8. $8:30 a.m. right here. 2 minutes. So I'll put this up on screen so you can see it. Nasdaq futures at $20,000 exactly. Yeah, that's a big level too. That's a big milestone level. Market expected 50 cut, and that happened. Why would the market not go positive yesterday? The market is positive. The SPY broke lifetime highs today. At the same time, you have to look at it where 50 basis point cut is not always great. You know, it shows sign of panic, I guess is the point. All right, guys, we got a minute and a half. Last week's jobless claims was at 230, so exactly the same, right around 230. Market is raising higher. Tesla at 234s. I guess 45 seconds. All right, here we go, guys. 30 seconds left. 30 seconds. And here we go. Jobless claims expected at 2:30. Report drops in about 10 seconds. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream chat. And then tomorrow's quad witching day too, so just be ready. Here we go. Here's the report right now. We got 4, 3, 2. This is a little bit late, so don't even pay attention to that. It drops right now. Jobless claims showed up at 219, under the expected number. More people working, less people filing for jobless claims week to week. Again, 219 versus 230,000. 219 versus 230,000, lower than expected jobless claims. It hasn't really moved the market at all, but this does show a stronger economy than expected. It shows more people working, less people filing for unemployment than expected. The Philly Fed Index actually showed positive as well, so strength in manufacturing showed up today. The Philly Fed Index showed 1.7 positive versus negative 0.8 expected. So again, positive economic reports today so far this morning. Now remember, this is a week-to-week report, so it doesn't have a huge influence over things, but it's still somewhat relevant. And again, I'll put this number up on screen. The Philly Fed Index again showed a positive 1.7 versus a minus 0.8% expected. So that is the reports today. Again, Philly Fed showed positive 1.7, minus 0.8 expected. So really, I had some people showing -1 expected, but point is we were positive versus negative, so that's actually better than expected here. We'll put these numbers up on screen. You can see it here. Yeah, it's an election year, guys. So like, this is like, people have to really understand economics. They have to understand everything, and they don't seem to, right? And again, I'm here to tell you guys this. If you're one of those people that constantly predicts a crash every major economic report, you are being misled. There's a lot of arguments on why the market's not going to crash this month. You know, one of the big arguments is it's simple. It's an election year. It's an election year, guys. You know how rare it is for not only the stock market to be negative in an election year, but for the economy to crash during an election year. You know, it's incredibly rare, rare. For just by that statistic alone, you should understand how the probabilities here. And so, like, you got to understand that's how this goes. That's how it is. Nobody's saying the economy's perfect. You know, we're not. But again, y'all have to understand the like again, people are susceptible to politics a lot. And again, I think a lot of people have a hard time admitting that as well. And that's all right. Like, we're all biased in our own way about everything. But, you know, and again, I don't think 50 basis points is good. I think 50 basis points is bad. What I'm saying is that regardless of what it is, regardless of what the data shows, right? Good, bad, high numbers, low numbers, regardless of any of that, generally speaking, it's consistent that the market is going to be green during an election year, as well as the economy is going to do okay, right? Meaning, like, we're not going to go into a deep recession or depression in an election year. You know, not again. We can use AI to look up the stats here. It's just rare. It's not common. It really isn't. It's just not very common at all. You know, but again, like, what happens is people get really biased politically. One side says it's the worst it could ever be, and people kind of piggyback off of that sentiment, and then they kind of just regurgitate it to everybody they see, when a lot of them don't really understand. You know, and I'm not even saying, like, but you got to understand, like, y'all have to understand, right? If whatever side's in power, and again, this is for both of them, right? Whichever side's in power, the other side during election years, it's beneficial for them to say it's the worst it could ever possibly be. You got to understand that, right? Like, think about it. It's logical. Deep down inside, you know that to be the case. And it doesn't mean everything's untrue, right? And some of the stuff might be true. But what it means is that you have to take all this big negative sentiment regarding the economy that you get from political news, and you got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to understand what their, you know, prerogative is. And it's politics 101. That's how it goes. You know, again, to give you the other bias, I say this every day, the other side's going to try to make you think it's the greatest it's ever been, right? And that's obviously not true either. And so, you know, like, you got to look at it objectively, you know. The Fed says they're data-driven. Data continues coming in better than expected. Well, yeah, we're seeing slower inflation. Well, it takes sometimes longer than 3 to 6 months, to be honest, to really get the full effect of rate cuts. So it's not like, you know. Yeah, so after the central bank cuts rates, financial markets, including bonds, bond yields react quickly. Bond yields are going to go down with lower interest rates. Why? Because when you sorry, my face, I'm running a blank. When you lower rates, bond prices go up and yields go down, right? So you will see an immediate effect on yield prices, and that's kind of what we're seeing already. Mortgage rates tied to long-term treasury yields, and so you could see them decrease within days or weeks following this report, depending on how the market perceives it. Lenders are going to adjust their rates based on market conditions. But yeah. All right. And so again, if you haven't already, check out a sponsor of mine. One of my sponsors is called Topstep, and they are a great company. Again, if you want to learn to day trade, do not risk thousands of dollars of your own money. And again, in futures, just to put this in perspective, you can day trade this price action on the SPY, you can day trade this price action on the Q, and there's no PDT rule. If I put up the futures contract of the Q here, you'll notice it's literally the same price action, and I can day trade this one in futures, no PDT rule. You'll notice this is the same as this. If I zoom out here, it's the same price action. It literally is the same price action. I can't zoom out that much on the Q, but this is the same price action. This is the same thing as this. That's a 1 minute chart. There we go. That'll look better. See, this is the same thing. I can day trade this middle one in futures, no PDT rule. And if you want to day trade, do not risk your own money. Funded account program, Topstep, in that regard, is incredibly useful. They give you a demo. They test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you, but you're only risking the monthly subscription. In this case, it's $49, and so your risk is limited. If you're good enough as a trader, you pass it anyway. And ultimately, they give you a demo. If you pass the test, it's a 2 to 3 ratio. You got to make 3K without losing 2K first. If you can do that successfully, they fund you 50K with a 90% split on the base one. That's only $49. There's also higher packages where you can get more funding if you pass them, if you want like bigger size once you're funded. And again, the patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks. Most pro traders trade futures. And so it's really is something that most pro traders do. The biggest edge in funding right now is Topstep X's platform. Topstep X offers 0 commissions, which means if you're familiar with futures, you can trade with micro contracts. Trade small, let your edge play out. If you try to trade regular NASDAQ contracts, they swing so much you can be down thousands in minutes. It's really hard to have good risk management. But on Topstep X, you can trade with 0 commission, so I can take small trades with micro contracts. It's a powerful thing. It really genuinely is a powerful thing. It's the biggest edge in funding. And Topstep has some of the best rules in the game in funding once you're funded. And so again, if you haven't checked them out, I'll put the link up. They are an affiliate of mine, a sponsor of mine. They pay me money, but genuinely the best edge in the game in funding, in my opinion. 0 commission. Topstep X is a great platform. It uses TradingView charts as well, so you'd probably be familiar with it. And again, they've paid out over $40 million. They fund thousands of traders. They've been around for 12 years. So check them out. Here's the link. Yeah, there's no PDT in futures as well. Is bear market over now? I don't know. All right. All right, guys. All right. What else we got? There we go. Yeah, bear markets, guys. Like, look, man, you got all these contrarians in the market. Right, you got all these contrarians in the market, basically telling YouTube or telling people on YouTube that we're always going to crash, we're always going to correct, we're always going to bear market. We've only had 3 bear markets that lasted over 2 years in history. I think it's approximately 3. It might be 1 or 2 more. It might be 1 or 2 less. I'm not sure. But there hasn't been a lot of them, right? And so people acting like we're going to bear trend for a long time. Like, what does that mean, guys? I guess the ultimate question is, what does that mean? Right? If we've only had a few bear markets in history in which we've had more than one, I think, is it more than one red losing year? Chat, you guys might be able to correct me. Let me look this up. All right, so the Great Depression was 1. The dot-com bubble. 2 instances. To put this into perspective, guys, again, I'm going to give you guys some understanding. 2 instances. There's been 2 times in history of the stock market, specifically the S&P 500 or its predecessor indexes. There's only 2 times in history where we've had consecutive or red years that last more than 2 years. 2 times in history, guys. Great Depression.com bubble of 2000. So what does that mean? Like I said, what that means is if we have a few years of red, I'm buying. You know, that's what it means. Now, take it however you want to take it. But it's interesting. So I guess the point is like people acting like we're going to have red year after red year after red year is not accurate. Usually, that's just not how it goes. Yeah, Jor, I don't know what you're saying, brother. To be honest, I don't know if you're a bot. None of what you're saying makes sense. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, dude. So, and you're just kind of clouding up the chat with weirdness. It's got to be a bot, right? That's some weird stuff he's saying. Yeah, I'll try to get a silent keyboard. Yeah, but 5 micro contracts is plenty, right? So 5 micro contracts. Is a lot of size, right? That's a lot of size. It's 5 contracts max, so you could always trade a regular. 5 micro contracts is half the size of a regular NQ contract. And so, yeah, 5 micro contracts is half the size of a regular NASDAQ contract, which is plenty. Again, it's plenty, right? Like, again, if I buy the regular NQ, and on Topstep, I can buy up to 5 of them. This can move so fast. It moves $5 a tick. But this $5 a tick range is big. It moves fast. Very, 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 very quickly. Fast. It's a thanks, Bill, for changing my life situation. Yeah, I don't freaking know, dude. But the point is, like, people acting like that's some critical. Again, people get so biased, dude. Like, again, people get torn on. Like, everybody, here's the truth, right? Everybody wants to be the big Michael Burry. Everybody watched The Big Short and says, ooh, I want to be that guy. I want to be the next big contrarian. The problem is everybody and their grandmother's predicting a crash, which usually means we're not going to crash. Everybody and their grandmother was predicting a crash back here, and we didn't get one, right? Here, everybody and their grandmother was predicting a crash, including Michael Burry, and we didn't get one. And so the problem is people watch The Big Short. They see Michael Burry. They want to be like him. And so they turn into these big contrarians that are trying to predict the next big market crash. And it's really pronounced in election years where, again, one side's acting like it's the worst it could ever be. And so everybody's like, oh, yeah, we're going to crash, guys. When really, the data doesn't show that at all right now. At all. Now, it doesn't mean we're not eventually going to crash. If you throw darts at a dartboard and you constantly predict it, eventually we're going to hit one. And you better believe even when we hit one, they're going to act like they knew it all along. But, you know, again, eventually it's going to happen. It's an inevitability. But is it probable short term? I don't necessarily think so. Everybody wants to feel good. Yeah. Why do you keep saying everyone's predicting a crash? Because they are. Not everybody. Everybody is vague or too generalized, but A lot of people are predicting a crash. You know how many, and again, it's not during my normal streams. It's during big economic reports. Like, again, I see it hand to hand. I see it every big economic report. Yesterday's FOMC meeting, we had so many people calling a crash. Like, you know, and again, it comes from bias. But I don't know. And again, part of me is saying this because I'm trying to help people. Okay, are the Bruce, economy crash inevitable? Crypto crash today. Powell's speech will crash the market. The economy, market is going to crash today for sure because investors have to bring more money and they won't buy it at highs. My opinion. Mega crash incoming today by somebody else. It's going to crash by the same person. Everybody expects a cut, but we'll see a market crash incoming. Gold will crash. I think 50 will crash the market. I think we crash this weekend. Watch, we'll crash today. These are all different people, just to clarify, right? And these are all people within the last day or two. So I see it all the time. I really do. Again, maybe I have a different look at it because I run a community, but I see it all the time. Right, we're in an environment where clicks and views are king, and that's why I'm trying to like be honest with people. You got a lot of other people who are telling them, like, again, if you watch some of these guys' videos, every other week they're putting out a video saying this is bad, we're gonna crash, ... and then we don't, you know. All right, guys. So we're hanging out here. Small caps ripping. Is the Russell ripping? All right, guys, sorry. How do you think the jobless claims data will affect market volatility today? Well, jobless claims drops weekly. It's a weekly report. It comes out every single week, basically. And so, you know. Yeah, you know, the problem is this, okay, is that, and I say this all the time, but crash equals views. Right? Saying we're going to crash equals views. Right? And so what happens is that people put out videos. They put out videos that say we're going to crash. Right? And sometimes they get big views from it. So if you put out a video that says we're going to crash and then you get a lot of views from it, what do you want to do with your next video? You know, even though we don't crash, right? Like, what do you want to do with your next video? You might want to tell people we're going to crash again. And so this causes this like push towards bearish, like the market's on fire sentiment, even when the market is not on fire, even when we're not crashing. And that's not sustainable. And so when you do that over and over and over and over and over again, not only is it not sustainable, but all these other people that are watching your videos are going to think the same thing. They're going to think the same thing. Why? You're just trying to get clicks. You know, saying we're going to crash is going to get the most amount of clicks. what I would hope is that if you follow somebody that's been that wrong about everything, you know, and they can say whatever they want, my track record in terms of like predicting markets, I think it speaks for itself here. And I'm not talking about anybody specifically. Like, they got a lot of good content out there on YouTube. It's certainly not everybody, but you know, you can look at the track record. You can watch some of these guys' videos, and again, on some of their videos, they're posting a crash video every other week, and then we don't crash and we break highs, and then another crash video every other week. And so at a certain point, I hope the viewers recognize the trend and the pattern there. And again, I think that's kind of what I see kind of regurgitated back in my channel in the comment section. I see, oh, we're gonna crash, you know, why? Because this person says so. It's like, all right, well, you know, you got to understand the conflict of interest there, where I'm not even talking about anybody specific, Steve. You know, I'm gonna delete the comment just because I'm really not talking about anybody specifically. Fear is easier to gain attention, right? Jumbo Cut because Fez says they're being overly restrictive. I don't know. It depends on what you think about interest rates. You guys know my stance. The crash is crashing. The sentiment of a crash is crashing. What do you make of rate cuts despite economic data being positive? I think it's an election year, and that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, S&P broke lifetime highs. SPY broke lifetime highs. Yeah, 100% Ty. Yeah, well, no, some of the bad videos. Dream of Stuff says another annoying part is we have the meme stock videos. Worse than any crash clickbait. The whole stock goes to 100. Yeah, I see it all the time. And it'll be like, this stock is going to go up 1,000%. And some of the hilarious ones is that you see the ones from years ago, right? And some of these stocks, they'll be like, this stock is going to 1,000x in the next 2 years. You know, you look at the stock 2 years later, and the stock was here when they made that video, and it is like this. You know? And I feel bad for anybody that followed this video's advice. And I think, like, YouTube's actually done a really good job at stop feeding them views, right? Like you know, and it's confirmation bias. You know, so people watch those videos when they're holding those stocks, and they watch them because it makes them feel good, like they think they're going to get rich from their holdings or whatever. But I think YouTube has done a good job in those markets over the last 5 years, where they've been feeding those type of videos specifically less and less and less and less and less, you know, which is good, I think. How to become a mod? Dude, no offense, you ain't becoming a mod, brother. Dude, I'm not making anybody a mod. My modding, I like, dude, I would have people ask me to become a mod, right? They'd be like, hey, John, let me moderate for you. It's completely free. And I would say, okay, sure. Like, if they're like, oh, I just want to help support the movement. I'm like, okay, cool. Be a mod then. And they would be a mod. And then if something happened in their life where, you know, I don't know if this was the plan all along, then they slowly start chipping away at me for money. They start hitting me with sob stories. And some of them got mad. They were like, I've done so much work for you. And it's like, dude, like, I'm a small YouTube channel. I'm not going to pay you like you're working at Goldman Sachs. Like, I just can't justify that. Pawn's the main mod I got. And I'm really not going to, I don't really need any other moderators. I watch the chat. One of the big things people say I'm good at is communicating with the chat, right? I respond to the chat. And so if I'm watching the chat anyway, I can ban somebody that needs to be banned really quickly. The only thing adding a new mod to my channel is going to do is add liability. And so, and I'm also sure that we probably have some haters that have created fake accounts or created alt accounts where they get banned from here, they create another account, they act all friendly, trying to become a mod. Like, that ain't happening either, you know? So, again, I'm not saying that's anybody here, but because of that, I just don't need more mods. It's too much liability. It's unnecessary. Why are you against giving them something for their service? I mean, because I never asked for it. You know, it's kind of like those guys. An example, like a good analogy here. You ever see those guys where they run up to you in your car and they wash your window? They scrub it down. You don't ask for it. Some people are like, hey, no, stop. Sometimes they actually make the window dirtier. But they run over there, they wash your window, and then they come to you and they're like, hey, give me $1. And if you don't have any money, they get upset with you for it. They're like, hey, what the heck? I just washed your window. That's how I feel with mods sometimes. Where it's like, dude, I never asked for this. You forced yourself in here, you know? Kick rocks. Espionage. Hey. Yeah. Yeah, they're rare. Narcissist mood. I don't know, bro. Honestly, dude, the word narcissist. I'm curious about Google Trends here. I'm genuinely curious. I want to see how the word narcissist had to increase exponentially in search volume. Let's see this over the last, I want to see a long-term chart. I'm genuinely clear. 2004 to present. Yes. Look at this chart, right? Look at this chart. I'm going to put this up. And so this is 20 years of the word narcissism in Google Trends, right? The problem now is that everybody and their grandmother is calling anybody that goes through a bad breakup, X is a narcissist. Everybody that has any type of problem whatsoever, they're a narcissist, right? Again, there's a few common themes of narcissism, right? One of them is a lack of empathy, you know? So I always tell people the same thing. When I'm quizzing my kids to make sure they're not any of this stuff, one of my tests is empathy tests. I say, hey man, give me a hug. And if my son is all mad about something, he'll walk away. And then I'll kind of put my head down and walk away, and my son will see that and he'll feel bad and he'll run up to me and give me a hug, right? Because he feels bad. He has empathy for me, which is a great sign, right? That's a good little test that you can do with your kids. But the amount of people that just go through bad breakups, and I'm not saying that you're not valid, and maybe you really did have one. I'm not discounting that at all. It's just so widely used now that it's like people are throwing it out there for everybody and anybody they dislike or whatever. All right, guys. Selfie, yeah. Pretend to help you, idolize you, then call you out for, yeah. And honestly, there's been some good guys that dude, I genuinely try to put goodness out in the world. I've had people that were mods that had some rough stuff happen, you know, where, you know, and again, where I've given them money. I've sent people, I had a guy who's, I think his father passed, you know, and he was one of my moderators, and he didn't make that much, and I knew he didn't make that much, and I didn't, you know, he offered to be a moderator for free, but I ended up giving him some money and helping pay for stuff, and so I genuinely try to do good, and I'm not doing this to brag. I'm trying to tell people, I think if you put goodness out in the world, you get good back, You know, I think a lot of people are like, whenever they get self-conscious or they feel bad about stuff, they just lash out and they harass people and they insult people and they try to drag people down, right? But I think maybe it means we're living in a simulation. What I've found is that if you're nice to people and you try to put good stuff out there, you're going to get good stuff back. If you're mean to people and negative to people and cruel to people, you're going to get negativity and cruelty back, you know? And so, yeah, I genuinely believe that. You know, maybe it means we're living in a simulation. I don't know. Yeah, some people are just jerks. They're not narcissists. You know, some people are just jerks. You know, again, the common, like, if empathy is a big sign, right? Now, some people are just not good people, but they're not that either. So it's a very specific thing. Like, an actual narcissist will like play mind games with you, right? Like, I've known some, like, real ones, and what they would do is they would invite people out and then get people really ready, have people get really, really ready to go see them and like make plans and do stuff, and then cancel, like, and then have people, sometimes even had people travel to see them, like travel out of state to see them, and then when they got there they wouldn't answer the phone, they refused to answer the phone, right? And then whenever they refused to answer the phone, and eventually they finally talk to the person, and the person's like, hey, what the heck, I just traveled way out of state to see you. Then they gaslight them and they say, what are you talking about? Yo, you should have done this or this or this or this. Like, I've met some real ones and they mess with your head. They really will. The easiest way you can handle that is you just distance yourself, right? Just distance yourself. Don't care about what they do, because that's what they want. They want you to care enough about what they're doing so that they can mess with you. That's, you know, and the best thing to do is is it called the flat rock? It's called something, you know. Question is, we live in a simulation? Is the real world a simulation? Yeah, no, I know I say the same stuff sometimes. It's all right. I'm going a little bit deeper in it today, so, you know, today's a little bit different. We might have talked about this before, but I think we're going a little bit deeper in it today, which I think is a good conversation. We got 25 minutes though. SoFi, is there news for SoFi? SoFi's up big. Gray Rock. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, the Truman Show messed with my head as a kid. It really did. Like, I remember watching the Truman Show and being like, yo, I'm in a simulation. Or no, being like, yo, I'm in a TV show, everybody's filming my life, right? And I think everybody that saw that movie might have had that same thought. But then I sat around and I looked at my life, and I was like, man, this would be boring. Like, I'm definitely not on a TV show right now because this is boring. Nobody would watch this, you know? My show would have one season and then they'd cancel, you know? Top 3 in the world, Sam, you know. All right, guys, SPY at 570s, almost 570s. Nobody would watch this, say that 700 people watching. Yeah, but this is different. I wouldn't do this. Little 10-year-old John wasn't streaming on, you know. As an independent contractor, Ali, you're going to be a contractor. And so it's a little bit different than like cap gains. You're going to be a contractor, pay taxes as a contractor. SoFi, yeah, SoFi up to 840s, man. Huge move. Tesla all the way up to almost 235s. Big move there. SPY finally dipping down a little bit. It's trying here. But your life is a show, and we're watching. I know that's the big ironic thing about it. I guess my life is kind of a show. People get mad at me for talking about stuff outside of stocks. But like if I only talked about stocks, it would get really boring really fast if I only talked about stocks. Because there's only so much I could say. There's only so much stuff going on. We cover economic data. We cover earnings. We cover all that stuff. But there's only a certain amount of stuff going on. All right, chat. Let me get this up. So again, jobless unemployment data is out. Yeah, so unemployment data out. It came in lower than expected, which is good, you know. All right, chat. So sorry, I'm trying to get this set up here for. One more. There we go. All right. So what else we got? There we go. I know we've had a lot of people complain about my keyboard lately. SPY is ripping now. Yeah, that's me. Radical. We all wanted to be firefighters when we were younger. You're doing fine. Keep rolling. Hey, thanks, Ed. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks so much. What's up, bro? I hope you were doing well. My birthday was on the 10th. Hey, happy B-Day, bro. Hope it was great. I wanted to be a bus driver. I'm trying to think of what I wanted to be. I was really in, like, I have kind of a really obsessive personality. I really do. I've got, like, a deeply obsessive personality. And I have ADHD, right? And they don't even think ADD is a thing anymore. It's ADHD. I'm certainly hyperactive. You know, if you watch my stream, sometimes you'll see me, like, bouncing. I'm not shaking. It's my legs. I've got restless legs, so I'll, like, jump my leg back and forth. And so it might look like I'm, like, shaking when I'm not. It's just restless legs. But with that said, with ADHD, I would like hyper focus. Like I hyper focus on things. You know, get really, really into things. As a kid, I remember I got really, really into sharks. Really, really into sharks. I asked my parents if I could have a shark for Christmas. I remember. Never. They did get me one, right? And you might be like, hey, how'd you get a shark? It was one of those little freshwater guppy sharks that they called a shark. It's like $10 at the store. freaking loophole. They figured it out. They got the freaking loophole. Shout out to my mom and dad, the goats. No, the Nasdaq's breaking highs here, chat. So the Nasdaq's breaking highs. I was also really into snakes, and I had a bunch of pet snakes. First I had a garter snake, and then I had some corn snakes. Hercules was one of my favorite snakes. Albino corn snakes were really cool. And then what did I get into? Then I got into like karate. I remember being really into like karate. I watched The Karate Kid. This was back in the day when you go to the library and there weren't a lot of videos. The internet wasn't around. And so I would go to the library and get like a karate book, kind of like there was in The Karate Kid. And I'd look at the pictures and I'd, act like I was some big hardcore karate guy. Really, I didn't know much. I did judo as a kid. I did karate as a kid. But maybe that's why I do jiu-jitsu today. I'm trying to think of what else. Then I got into skateboarding. And I skateboarded until I was like 16, 17. I was pretty good. I could like double kick flip, like do some stairs, kick flip some stairs and stuff. And so for the 90s and 2000s, I was pretty good. Right nowadays, they got little like 4 or 5 year olds doing crazy stuff like that. So it's like, it's not the same now. The standard has changed. No, y'all wake me up. When I get up in the morning, y'all see me drink my first cup of coffee, And it's strong. I've been making it strong. Top 3 ever. But you might think I'm on that sparse, but I'm not. I'm just hyperactive in general. I have been since I was little. Yeah, restless legs. Yeah, chess. Chess is cool. I played a lot of it when I was growing up. My kids and I have been watching the Queen's Gambit. And now, usually I might be upset that they took Bobby Fischer's story and they made it like a female anthem. But it was so good, I can't even hate on it. It was so good. Like, the Queen's Gambit's just really, really good. It's really the true story of Bobby Fischer is what it is. And they just kind of swapped him out for her. And that's fine. It's a good show. We're watching it. I've seen it once already with my wife, and now my kids are kind of watching it with us now that they're old enough to. Who are the other top 2? Do we know them? No. How is it that they're... Yeah, I don't know, man. That's just kind of how it is. Anyways, we got 15 minutes. Look at the SPY break highs here, guys. I'm gonna short. We're up too much. I will add one more to this position, try to catch the top. A risky thing, but nonetheless, I'm still gonna try. And again, this is Topstep X, 0 commissions, and this is me trading micros. You can see how small this is. There we go. Got a nice little cushion. All right, I took a little bit off here just to lock it in. I might add right back. We've had multiple green candles in a row. I think it's time to correct on this, but who knows what's going to happen. Took some more off. Immediately retrace back up. It's just getting balled up. Man, it's gonna be another green candle, it looks like. I'm gonna cut it. So we ended up basically flat on that trade. I do like the direction of the candle. I got out too soon. I got scared out of it. I'll add back it. I'll try to get back in it. Maybe it's an emotional trade getting back in it here, but I like the range. Let's take 4 contracts or 3 contracts here. I'll take one more. I'll take 4. A little bit large for me early, but I think we're gonna correct back down a little bit some. And maybe yeah. We're starting to go sideways, and so I'm looking at that. I'm going to try to be as patient as I can with this. Alright, we got our first little red candle here. It's getting to a point where I want to take maybe 2 contracts of this off. There we go. We got the breakdown that I wanted, but we didn't really profit that much from it. There we go. Add to it here a little bit. See if we break down a little bit more. Take that immediately off. Lock that in. I'm going to cut that here. So we made a little bit here. Kind of grinding up a cushion on the day first like we always do. Hey, what's up, Rich? Yeah, I don't ever really post to my Discord, dude. Yeah, we bounced immediately right back up. And again, I might start shorting this again up here. It's kind of a risky thing, like what I'm doing. And so I don't know if anybody should really copy me here. But, see if it works. We took a little bit off. I might add back to this. There we go. We got a cushion now to let this work. And you can see once we're trying to manage it right, but 10 minutes left to the open. Actually, I'm gonna cut this right here. The reason I'm cutting it is because the SPY is edging closer to the lifetime highs. And I don't want that magnetism of the lifetime highs to affect the trade. Yeah, we'll see. We got 10 minutes left until the market opens. BBIG is still a stock? Vinco Ventures? Dude, it's been so long since I've seen BBIG. Bro, people used to say BBIG was the future. They would say all this crazy, like, ridiculous stuff about BBIG. Like, this stock, like, it's been a while since I talked about it. So I'll go ahead and talk about it, but people get, like, these penny stock, like, if you find yourself investing into this crap, again, somewhere you have been misled, right? And the problem is that, like, misery loves company, and so people buy up these little crappy companies like BBIG, and, you know, if you're holding a super depreciating stock, what are you going to do? You might try to get other people to buy it, try to save it, right? So people go out there telling everybody how great these companies are. Most of them will fail. And, you know, they tell other people. And so then these big communities form around specific penny stocks that are horrible. They're just terrible stocks. And, you know, they're all basically patting themselves on the back. It's like a big circle of confirmation bias. Like, oh, this stock is the greatest, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it's going to change the world. Oh, yeah, you know, we should buy more. Oh, yeah, let's go tell everybody. Oh, yeah. You know, it's like a cult almost. And the problem is, like, they go around regurgitating that stuff back to other traders. Maybe they're new traders. Maybe they're new investors. And so those investors hear good sentiment, and they're like, oh, well, it's cheap, I'm going to buy this. And so they start accumulating shares, thinking they're doing something good, thinking they're investing in like a similar way to Apple or Amazon, but really they're holding these super depreciating assets in penny stocks. Again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Most blue chip healthy companies never are under $5 a share. I'll say it again. Most blue chip healthy companies were never under $5 a share. And so if whatever company you're looking at is under $5 a share in general, right? There's always outliers here. You have a very low odd of winning. You know, people have this misconception where they think that stocks start off as penny stocks and then they grow to blue chip stocks and then they grow to mega cap stocks, right? But they all start off as penny stocks. A very regurgitated saying I hear is all stocks start off as penny stocks, guys. And that's just not freaking true. It's not true. Apple, Amazon, most of these IPO'd at a pre-split price of at least $20. At least, because by the time they IPO, they're healthy enough for people to know their strength. They're never under $10 usually. And so again, if you see some penny stock marketed as the next Amazon or whatever, just understand what I'm saying, you know. Apple used to be $2. Yeah, but it was $2 in 1970. Apple stock was $22 a share when it went public December 12th, 1980. Just to clarify, I got my dates wrong. So again, Apple was never, ever $2 a share. It was never $2 a share. They're looking at a pre-split price. They're looking at a post-split price, I mean. And so Apple was never, Apple IPO'd at $22 a share. It's had 5 stock splits since then. And that's the misconception, is they look at Apple stock. Maybe I should have shorted my futures. They look at Apple stock and they say, oh, well, guys, it was 6 cents a share. You know, let me buy a $5 penny stock and it's going to turn into the next Apple. And again, it comes from just a lack of fundamental understanding about stuff. Yeah. Yeah, well, at least you learned from it, Diego. A lot of them get mad, like, you know, I've seen it throughout the years. You know, somebody told me a long time ago that CEI was going to be the next big thing, and when I was skeptical, and basically I'm saying the same thing I'm saying now, because I do repeat these things every so often. Why do I repeat them? Because new people are here and they need to hear this, right? And if I could save somebody money in that regard, I'm doing something, and that's what I'd like to do. We got 5 minutes, Chad, 5 minutes. What's the next big Apple? I have no idea. There's some stocks that I like. Mid-cap stocks are more likely to turn into the next big brand. You know, but again, they're also incredibly risky. They can drop 30, 40, 50, 60% in a year. And so every mid-cap stock is not good. Again, AMD at 153.70s. UiPath, what's the symbol? Is it path? Yeah. I don't know the split history here. I mean, but I don't know, bro. The problem with path, and again, I always try to be honest about these stocks. Like, look, the problem with path is this. Look at this chart. This chart IPO'd at almost $90 a share. It has since dropped 70% down to 1230s. So
That's the problem with it, is that it used to be big and it's lost steam, and we can rebound sometimes. Like, rebounds are possible. I don't know if they're probable though. So just be careful. All right, guys. So NASDAQ breaking highs again, still pumping up. Here's the NQ, over 20,000. Palantir. Yeah, I put the playlist together. I don't create the songs, but I put the playlist together. Tesla up to 234s. 2.5 minutes, chat. And again, if you want to check out Topstep, I'm using Topstep today. So if you want to day trade with me, I'm trading on Topstep today. No PDT in futures. You can day trade short, buy market, sell market. Very similar to day trading stocks. Topstep gives you a demo. They test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose the monthly subscription. And most day traders lose. That's probably the same here. Most day traders are going to lose no matter where they go. It's a lot cheaper to lose on Topstep. They're one of the most legit in the world. They have some of the best rules and funding. And in the futures market, I can basically day trade the QQQ price action. I can day trade the S&P price action, basically the SPY and Q price action. I can day trade gold. I can day trade some currencies. And it's very similar to day trading blue chip stocks. The patterns are very similar. And most pro day traders should be trading futures. But again, most day traders lose. And so if you put up your own money, you're probably going to lose it. Instead, the base account on Topstep's $49. It's a $49 subscription, monthly subscription. They give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K without losing 2K, a reasonable 3-to-2 ratio, they fund you. If you can't do that and you fail it, you only lose the monthly subscription. If you pass it, 90% split once you're funded, and they've paid out over $40 million. They fund thousands of traders. They've been around for over 12 years. It's just a great way to learn how to trade, right? Your risk is limited versus putting up 5, 10K yourself and losing it like most new traders end up doing. But again, they're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased. I really don't do that many plugs a day. This is like my second plug all day today. I probably do like 2 to 3 plugs all day. So check them out. Here's the link. Appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Honestly, Topstep X has the best edge in funding right now, in my opinion, with 0 commissions. So I can actually day trade the MNQ, the micro NASDAQ, small trades. And if I trade the regular NQ, the risk, it's very hard to have risk management. It moves up and down. You could lose thousands quickly. The micro NASDAQ, I can trade small, let my real edge play out. And that's the biggest edge in funding right now. If you want to check it out, there's the link. Yeah, it's kind of like a trading internship, 100%. This sounds bad, but we could close red today. We could. I mean, anything could happen. I mean, I don't know if we're necessarily green enough to not close red. To not close red, though, we'd have to drop all the way to 561s. It's a big drop. It's a big drop. Here's the market open, though. Yeah, we got 5 seconds here, guys. 5 seconds. Let's do this. All right, there's the bell. All right, I'm going to let the opening bell calm down a little bit first. So we're going to let the open bell. We got a little pullback ahead of the open now. We got a little dip. All right. Big dip here, chat. Yeah, we broke highs. I think it's possible we correct back down. Part of me wants to buy short right here. I'm going to do it. I know it's really early. I'm sorry. There's some risk that I'm taking with this, but I'm only going to take one contract. And I might just be wildly wrong. I don't mind risking my little amounts here. I just, for whatever reason, I think we're going to go down. I might be wrong. Don't copy me, not an investment professional. All right, we got out. So we were correct. We went down short term. I don't know where I got that idea, but still think, I don't know, Nvidia's breaking highs. Nvidia up to 118. Yeah, so I ended up getting out. I didn't like the sentiment change here, which is like one of the things I noticed is that Nvidia is breaking highs. It's not really up too much, but it is still around the high of the last few days. So anything could happen. All right, Tesla testing lows. We're really just consolidating right now. I mean, we broke down a little bit, like I kind of had that intuition, but you know, I do think we're kind of looking like we might find support. It doesn't mean we will, but it's kind of what we see. I guess my earlier intuition was right, but top 3 wrongish traders in the world right now. Yeah, Bulldog Trading responded to me. Again, it's interesting. Like the amount of people that use the word narcissism has increased exponentially. It's super interesting. It really is. We did get a breakdown though. I'm gonna buy this dip. Oof, getting punished. Don't do it. Alright, somehow we're green on that buy the dip scenario, but it's kind of risky. Again, I see Nvidia bouncing up. We'll add to it. A little risky. Well, definitely wrong about this direction. What time is it? Okay, it's 6 minutes after the oven. See, that just went and stopped everybody out, too. I'm going to start trying to trade larger. We have the cushion for it in the account now. See, I might be able to have an edge in prediction, but if I don't take advantage of it, it's all moot. I think I'm trading too large here. Yep. Man, the last 2 days, I've just not had it. I just haven't had it. I've been doing much worse. I don't know if I should manage risk. Like, I like this, and the reason I keep buying back into it is because The range is better, right? Like, so we're putting in a lot of down wicks, but we're also kind of extended on the upside. Man, I just keep getting beat up, dude. So 40, 40. Yeah, we're probably down $100 now. Quickly, too. Now, if we start to lose 120, 130, I will slow it down. But I got to take like a little break. Just kind of getting in too much. All right. I'm going to take a break. But then I just buy it right back. The reason I'm buying it, NVIDIA's testing lifetime or the highs of the day. So I think we've corrected enough. All right, we took a piece off there. I'm going to add to my trade here too. All right, we just took another piece off. All right, so we just made about $30 here, so we're probably down about 70. I saw NVIDIA start to run, and so I wanted to buy the dip. We'll still try it. If we get a pullback here, we'll buy into that pullback. All right, there's the little pullback. All right, so just made a little bit more. Yeah, it's definitely impulsive on my end, which happens. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so maybe that's what it is. But there's a reason for it. There was a rhyme or reason for it. Like, the reason was NVIDIA was starting to break highs. Right, and I saw NVIDIA bouncing at the volume-weighted average pricing going up. And generally speaking, the NASDAQ will do it. I think my biggest mistake this morning is just trading way too big a size down here. Which again I can recognize, just dumb mistake on my end. Every day I'm not going to be perfect though. We're up hundreds in this account in the last few weeks, and so we're fine. But yeah, definitely not happy about it, I guess. Look at NVIDIA run here. So this is what we thought was going to happen. This is why we kept buying it and buying it and buying it. I think we just dropped too much. So we were right about the direction, but wrong about the management of the trade for sure. Tesla at 235s. Tesla pumping up. NVIDIA up to 118.50s. Yeah, you might be right, Sam. Might be good to just scale down. All right, so again, NVIDIA churning up here. It's at 118s. You look at the range. I'm gonna take one contract here, just one. We'll add to it if we get into profits. If we don't get into profits, we'll just cut it wherever we cut it. And looks like that. We just came right back down. I'm waiting to see if NVIDIA slows down and starts pulling back, and that might pull this back here too. But yeah, so we got out of it. We lost $20 there too. I don't know if I'm feeling it right today, guys. You know, again, I still think the direction might be good. We're in this big, long upward trend, though, on the NASDAQ. If we look at it here, right there. Let me get my window out of the way. I think we see something like this in there. Probably trading too much today too, maybe. guys. Today might not be my day. I don't want to give too much losses back on this account. We're still up hundreds on it, but just so much green action. Usually, like, I'm playing the other side of it, and we're just getting stuck. So, let me see what I'm down. Well, there's our big pullback. So we were actually correct about it too. Like, look at that. We got the big dip, big drop. It's all good. We could have made some money from it. But, you know, we are down about $100. Could be worse. Let's see. I don't know if I want to take another trade here. You can see Nvidia's pushing up is what caused a lot of it. And then Nvidia started to dip, which is good. Yeah, I mean, we're down, yeah, about $100. It could be worse. Like, for now, I'm going to pivot to a combine account that I have. And maybe we'll come back and trade our regular one on the day, but, you know, I'll put this up. So this is we're going to trade this one much differently, just to clarify, guys. Much differently. 3 contracts. I need to switch to regular. My bad, guys. I'm going to. I'm in the wrong kind of contract here. I'll get out. We're flat. I'm gonna pivot to regular contracts. So you'll watch. So I'm gonna pivot to regular contracts and watch the difference in this contract. Watch the difference between what I was trading on my funded account and my actual combine account. Watch the difference in size. Yeah, I have been correct on the direction in both big trades. It's something I need to manage. Remember, I said it was weak this morning. We broke down heavily. I started buying it up, and we went up big, and then I started shorting this, and then we just dropped big, right? So I'm down $100. It's all right. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I went to bed at like midnight, and so, yeah, just didn't get enough sleep, unfortunately. And you know, they say if you get less than 7 hours, your IQ drops by 10 points for every hour less than 7 you get. And so top 3 lowest IQs in the world right now, for me. Alright, so we got 2 contracts immediately here where we are down. This is a regular NASDAQ. I could add to this, and I might. Honestly, on this challenge account, I don't really need it. Like, I'm already funded, and I like to keep it small. I'm going to add to this. So don't judge me if I lose this, because we're just kind of throwing it around right now. Trying to get into the green. Like, in these funded account programs, if you want to get funded quick, you're going to have to risk. There we go. Up. Alright, we just took some off. Took some more off. Took some more off. So we just made about almost 400. Or no, we made 320, 330 right now, shorting that bounce. You can see how quickly the trades go for me here. So we're gonna buy this dip. We got a nice little cushion that we can play with now. So we will add to it if we continue to pull down. And we're gonna take our swing. We got 5 contracts. We're flat. You can see how big size and how fast this goes for against me. All right, so we ended up making whatever we made there. I don't think we made that much actually, because we got a bad fill on one of these where we lost 230, but then we made about the same. So bad fill. We were right about the direction. Like, we've done really good at reading price action today, to be honest. I just haven't really managed it right. But so far, let me see what my balance is. Yeah, so far we're up $400 basically, close to it at least. So we're doing pretty good. We got to make 3K. All right, we're gonna start using just one contract. All right, so we just made another 120. It kind of shows you how much the potential to make on these are, right? We're gonna buy this again. We'll do the thing where we're gonna buy one contract, and then if we're green, we'll add to it. If we're not green, we won't add to it. Try to limit our big losses on the day. All right, so we got 2 contracts now. All right, we took another off. We're up $80 so far on the trade. Let's see if we get into the green on the last little bit. I'll try to hold the rest break even. I'm going back and forth now between red and green. It looks green. I like the trade idea, but who knows what it's gonna freaking do. We'll cut it. So we lost 160 there. This has been a big support level, so I'm just waiting to see what happens. All right, 2 contracts loaded up. Took a little bit off there. Got out kind of flat on that one, unfortunately. Oof. Lost some there for sure. I think we might be red on the day now. That's a big red candle, unfortunately. Let me see. Yeah, we're now basically down $12. Could be worse. All right, net at least. Maybe it'll be more. Maybe it'll be less. But market's starting to flush. Let me see. And again, I don't know. I'm not having good results. You know, it hasn't been easy for me to make money today, unfortunately. I'll give it time. SPY's down big. I think maybe just the base extension that we've seen today in these is too much for me. You know, I've been trying to buy the dip and ride some of these, but, you know, a lot of the time what happens is the SPY breaks highs and then it comes right back down, you know? So, like, very rarely does the SPY break highs and, like, continue pushing up and breaking highs and breaking highs. Home sales, I mean, we'll cover it, but you know, like, so we could go back to trading our Express account. Again, haven't really had good results with it today, though. So it's not necessarily bad. Let me make sure I get away from this NASDAQ. I want the micro. Yeah. One thing I also like about Topstep X is that it automatically rolls over. I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, definitely top 3 worst trader today. Yeah, like I said, I could risk this account, this micro account, or this express account. But, you know, part of it, like, dude, like, I don't mind taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You know, like, I think the problem is, like, I'm okay with having a green day, green day, green day, red day. You know, like, maybe that's the worst. That's the top 3 worst graphs I've ever drawn. I'm okay with having a green day, green day, green day, red day, red day. It'd still be enough in the account, right? That gives me a chance to go like that. If you're not able to walk away, though, you gotta understand the sentiment, which is you gotta be able to walk away. I was actually correct about my direction a lot today, if you pay attention. Like at the opening bell, right here, I said I thought we were gonna break down. We did. I started buying it up right here, and a lot of people made fun of me. They called it impulsive, and then we made this big pullback, and then I started shorting this top up here, and then it broke down. And so, like, we were actually pretty correct about direction. It has to do with discipline today and trade management. And I do agree that I was impulsive for sure, but there was a rhyme or reason for it. So, like, I had a reason for doing it. It just didn't manage the trade correctly today. And again, you know, usually, like, the rookie traders will show themselves because everybody understands, like, traders are going to have good days, bad days, red days, green days. The only traders that act like you only have red or you only have green days, or like one trade makes or break the trader and has some type of tell over how good or bad they are rookie traders that are super, like, rookie traders think every day's green. They think you can make 5% every day. They think you can do all this crazy stuff. And so real trading, like, you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You know, the ones that are the best at trading are able to step away. Like, I will make fun of myself, be self-deprecating all day, and do my best to step away, you know, because that's how I manage it, you know. Instead of taking myself too seriously, I can make fun of myself, and that'll give me the energy to kind of just deal with the day and not force it. If I take myself too seriously, if I act like I gotta be the greatest freaking trader of all time ever, top 3, then I'm gonna have pressure to, like, win, and I think that pressure kills profit, you know. Yeah, we got like 4 minutes. I don't really need a timer for it. Yeah, so we'll cover the new home sales report whenever it drops, but the video very kind of choppy today too. All right, guys. New home sale data drops soon. Hey. All right, guys. So SPY's at 569.30s. Big rebound back up to. We're gonna wait for the new home sales data in about 2 minutes. Also, guys, check out Topstep. We want to day trade. Listen, if I would have put my own money up today, I would have lost thousands of dollars. You know, I'm sure if I would have traded my own money in stocks or something like that, I'm probably at least thousands of dollars. Topstep is great because it lets you limit your risk. It's like a internship of trading. They give you a demo, test your skill. It'll test your skill to see if you're really good enough to risk your own money. If you're not, you only lose the monthly subscription. They give you a demo. If you pass the test, you got to make $3,000 in a demo without losing $2,000 first. It's a test. If you do that, they fund you. If you don't, you only lose the monthly subscription. If you pass the base one, you get $50K in funding, 90% split. They paid out over $40 million, been around over 12 years. Again, but your risk is limited. It's a perfect middle ground of pressure. You got some pressure, you're risking something. You learn how to trade under that pressure, but you're not risking thousands of dollars and losing your life savings. At least not unless you just have no discipline and you just buy up 1,000 accounts or whatever. And so understand, perfect middle ground. And if you lose here, you probably lose more putting your own money up. And that's the thing to understand. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, basically the SPY and Q price action, gold, some currencies, a lot of stuff. Patterns are very similar to blue chips. You can check them out here. Yeah, I like the internship. But again, they pay me money. I'm biased. Top 3 most biased trader of all time ever in the world right now, guys. Top 3-ish. I would say top 2.5-ish. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. They pay me money. I'm biased because of it. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. I'm not even claiming to be a good trader, chat. Top 3 worst, they say. Yeah. Hey, later, guys. Again, we got 20 seconds until this data comes out. We'll see what it looks like. All right, here's the report. So existing home sales expected at 3.9 million. They just showed up just under that at 3.86 million. Lower than expected existing home sales. Lower than expected. We also have the Fed balance sheet update tomorrow. And then tomorrow we have triple witching day tomorrow. Big day today, guys. Hey, I love you all. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Ed says, as I've said before, you're a capitalist. Oh, 100%. I'm a business person. I do this to make money. Absolutely do. Of course I do. I mean, look, you can watch somebody that pretends they do it out the kindness of their heart. You know it's not true. If anybody's spending hours and hours and hours and hours here, they're doing this to make money. Like, let's just be real here. And that's okay. That's normal. If you were spending hours, you would want to make money too. And that's what I'm here for. But I try to do good. I try to be honest. I try to tell people the truth. I repeat myself so much trying to protect traders. People get mad at me. They really do, you know. But hey, it's all love. I appreciate the love, guys. I really do. This community really genuinely is a blessing to my family. Genuine blessing to my family. And most people here are just great people. They're good people. They understand what I'm doing and why I do it. They understand I try to tell people the truth. And so, I appreciate the love. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, quad/triple witching. It's technically not quad witching day tomorrow, but it's still called quad witch. So tomorrow, quad witching day. All 3 major contract types expire. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Y'all have a great day.